Nobody showed up at the auction, so I bought a Galactic cruiser and discovered this. Jax Varen had never expected to be the richest person on Zantara Station, not because they lacked ambition, but because the universe had a strange sense of humor. The small spaceport hung like a forgotten jewel in the black velvet of space, its lights blinking faintly as ships of every size docked, unloaded, and departed. Jax shuffled through the metallic corridors of the auction house, a twinge of excitement making their chests tighten. Today was the day. The auction was legendary, or at least that's what the old Hollow News clips had promised. Rare ships from long-lost civilizations, experimental engines, and even starfaring relics no one had the technology to use properly. Jax's eyes sparkled at the thought. They didn't have a fortune, not yet, but they had enough credits to participate. As they entered the auction hall, a surprising emptiness struck them. Not a single bidder had shown up. The rows of chairs gleamed under the bright lights, vacant, as if the whole universe had forgotten this auction existed. The auctioneer, a tall, thin creature with skin that shifted color like oil on water, looked around and shrugged. "Well, it seems." "We are alone," the auctioneer said, their voice echoing slightly. "If anyone wishes to start bidding, now is the perfect time." This was unheard of. An auction of this size, this rarity, and there was no competition. The adrenaline coursing through their veins made their fingers tingle. They walked slowly toward the display floor, eyes scanning the ships laid out in neat rows. Most were old, dust-covered, and more ornamental than functional. But one ship, larger than the others and sleek in a way that made the lights dance along its hull, made Jax stop dead in their tracks. It was a Galactic cruiser, an enormous vessel that could carry more than 100 people, with engines that seemed to pulse with energy even while idle. The hull bore strange markings, symbols from civilizations long gone. Jax could feel it, not just the power, but something almost alive. "Would anyone like to bid on the cruiser Elysium?" The auctioneer's voice floated over the hall. Jax swallowed hard. They could hear their heart beating in their ears. Normally at an auction like this there would be hundreds of bids, tense negotiations, perhaps even some shady deals in hidden corners. But now, silence. With a grin that felt half madness, half triumph, Jax raised their hand. "I'll take it. Full price," they said. The auctioneer tilted their head, colors shifting on their skin. "Very well. Congratulations. You are now the owner of the cruiser Elysium." Jax could hardly believe it. They had bought a Galactic cruiser with no one even trying to compete. Their fingers brushed the hull as if to confirm it wasn't a dream. The ship was enormous, almost intimidating in its silent presence, yet somehow inviting. It hummed softly, a low vibration that seemed to resonate with Jax's heartbeat. Boarding the cruiser was an adventure in itself. The ramp descended smoothly, as if expecting them, revealing a cavernous interior filled with corridors, chambers, and control rooms. The walls glimmered with alien metals, soft lights pulsing gently along intricate lines of circuitry. There were no signs of life, yet the ship felt aware, as if it was waiting for someone to awaken it. Jax wandered through the corridors, touching surfaces lightly. Each panel reacted to their hand, lighting up, revealing strange symbols and holographic interfaces. Their mind raced, trying to decipher even the smallest details. This was no ordinary ship. It was centuries ahead of anything Jax had ever seen. In the main bridge, the viewports displayed the sprawling blackness of space, stars scattered across the void like diamonds. Jax ran their fingers over the captain's console, expecting nothing. Instead, a holographic projection flickered to life, displaying a three-dimensional map of nearby star systems. The ship had activated itself, or at least parts of it had. A soft, melodic hum filled the bridge. Jax froze. The sound wasn't mechanical. It was almost musical. As they stepped closer to the central console, the hum seemed to respond to their presence, rising and falling like it was trying to communicate. "This is incredible," Jax whispered. They spent hours exploring the cruiser, discovering compartments filled with equipment, living quarters, and storage rooms. Most of it was too advanced to immediately understand, but that only excited Jax more. Every new discovery felt like a puzzle waiting to be solved. Every touch seemed to awaken another part of the ship. Jax finally settled in what appeared to be the central command room. They sat down in the captain's chair, feeling the contours of the seat mold perfectly to their form. A holographic interface blinked on, presenting them with a single prompt. Owner identified. INITHLization sequence ready, begin? Jax hesitated, then pressed the glowing button. Immediately, the ship shuddered gently, a soft vibration running through the floor. Lights blazed along the walls, and the hum became richer, more complex. The cruiser seemed to inhale, as if awakening from a centuries-long slumber. Then, a voice spoke, soft, calm, and distinctly alien. Welcome, human. It has been
A long time. Back.
They looked around the bridge, half expecting someone else to be there, but there was no one, just them and the ship. Hello? Jax said, unsure how to respond to a sentient vessel. You are unexpected, the voice continued. No other sentient beings were anticipated to claim me. Jax's grin widened. Well, I guess I'm full of surprises. The voice didn't answer, but the ship's systems flared to life even more. Holographic schematics of unknown technologies floated around them. Jax realized that every button pressed, every interface touched, revealed layers upon layers of advanced knowledge. The cruiser wasn't just a ship. It was a library, a vault, and a mentor all in one. Hours passed, or maybe days, Jax wasn't sure. Time had a strange quality on the cruiser. The sun rose and fell outside the station's viewport, though not in any pattern they recognized. Jax found a control that allowed them to simulate planetary orbits, another that could scan nearby space, and another that projected star charts of regions they had never seen. And then, tucked away in a corner of the navigation room, they discovered something that made their eyes widen. A star map. Not any ordinary star map, but one that pointed to a sector of space beyond known galactic charts. The stars shimmered in a way that suggested they weren't just points of light. They were waypoints leading somewhere important. Jax leaned closer, heart pounding. This wasn't just a ship. They had bought a key to the unknown. The thought was exhilarating. The hum of the cruiser seemed to approve, vibrating in tune with their excitement. And in that moment, Jax knew one thing with absolute certainty. This was only the beginning. The auction had been empty. The universe had been quiet, and somehow fate or sheer luck had placed the cruiser in their hands. And now, as the ship's AI gently guided them through its systems, Jax felt an almost childlike sense of wonder. There was a galaxy of mysteries waiting, and they were the one who held the first key. For the first time in their life, Jax Varen wasn't just a curious human. They were the captain of a ship older than most civilizations, with secrets that could change the way anyone saw the stars. And as they gazed out at the infinite black sprinkled with diamonds, a laugh that was equal parts disbelief, joy and anticipation. The universe had nothing on them. At least, not yet. And somewhere deep in the hull, the cruiser thrummed, alive and patient, ready for the journey ahead. The cruiser Elysium hummed softly as Jax Varen explored its inner corridors. Every light, every panel, every touch seemed to respond to them. It was almost as if the ship was alive, observing and learning at the same time. After the initial awe of discovering a ship older than many civilizations, Jax realized they needed to understand the ship before taking it anywhere. They started in the command room, where the holographic star map glowed softly. Jax's fingers hovered above the controls, trying not to let excitement cloud judgment. Each star system seemed ordinary at first glance, but subtle pulses suggested there was something hidden, something beyond the charts of known space. Okay, Jax said aloud. If you're going to work with me, I need to know what you want. For a long moment, only the hum answered them. Then, softly, the voice of the cruiser returned. You are curious. That is rare. Jax grinned. Curiosity has gotten me this far. You are compatible, the voice said, almost as if stating a fact. Others would not understand me. Jax leaned back, a little taken aback. Compatible?
Like a computer? Or
Like a friend? There was a pause long enough for Jax to feel slightly uncomfortable. Then the hum shifted, warmer this time, like a navigator, a partner. Jax laughed softly. I think I can handle that. With that, they began to experiment. The ship responded to their touch in subtle ways. Panels rearranged themselves based on Jax's movements. Lights dimmed and brightened according to their focus, and the hum fluctuated in rhythm with their breathing. Even the engines seemed to pulse gently, as if testing their awareness. The first challenge came in the form of navigation. Jax tried to activate the cruiser's long-range drives, but a holographic lock appeared. Strange symbols floated in midair, shifting continuously. No manual, no guide, nothing familiar, just patterns that seemed almost alive. For hours, Jax studied the symbols, moving their hands over the panels, experimenting with gestures and sequences. They pressed, swiped, tapped, and sometimes just thought about commands. Slowly, the ship began responding. A sequence unlocked, revealing a hidden control room with a translucent globe displaying unknown star systems. The cruiser spoke again. Human, you are adaptive. Others would have failed. Jax smirked. I told you, I'm not like others. The ship's hum intensified as though approving. The globe in front of them rotated, zooming in on a cluster of stars far beyond the known galaxy. The light from these stars shimmered differently, almost like they were signaling something. Jax leaned closer. What is this? Where does it lead? The cruiser responded with a soft glow along the walls. Symbols traced paths across the holographic globe, highlighting specific routes. You are to follow, but slowly, carefully. Jax's mind raced. They could already feel the magnitude of what they had stumbled into. The cruiser wasn't just a ship. It was a guide, a key to something ancient and vast. They spent the next day, or what felt like a day, learning the systems. Some panels revealed alien knowledge, equations for energy sources Jax didn't yet understand, and maps of stars that didn't appear in any database. Others responded to human emotion, changing brightness and sound based on curiosity, focus, or hesitation. By the time Jax stopped to rest in the ship's central chamber, they were exhausted, but exhilarated. They had activated the ship's navigation, unlocked multiple sections of the interior, and even communicated with the AI in a way that felt almost like conversation. But then, a soft vibration beneath their feet drew their attention. The cruiser's hull pulsed, and a low-frequency tone emitted from hidden systems. The vibration wasn't threatening. It was almost calling. Something's happening, they whispered. The star map on the command console began to shift, stars realigning in patterns that suggested a destination. A shimmering line connected one particular star to another, forming a route unlike anything Jax had ever seen. You are chosen, the cruiser said softly. No other has unlocked this path. Jax's heart thumped. The idea that they were chosen by a ship, by a machine, by something older than any living memory was almost overwhelming. I guess I'm lucky, they said, though luck didn't feel like the right word. It felt like purpose. The next few hours were spent preparing. Jax discovered storage rooms filled with supplies, food replicators, energy packs, and tools for maintenance. Every system seemed designed to anticipate the needs of a human pilot. The more Jax explored, the more they realized the ship was made for someone like them. Not just any human, but a human who was curious, bold, and willing to experiment. By the time they were ready to test the long-range drive, Jax felt a strange connection to the cruiser. They reached out, placing their hand on the main console. The hum grew stronger, lights dancing like auroras along the walls. You are ready, the voice said. Do you wish to begin? Jax nodded, swallowing hard. Yes! Let's see what's out there. The engines roared, not with noise but with energy that made the ship vibrate gently. Lights along the hull pulsed as if breathing. Jax gripped the chair, their knuckles white with anticipation. And then, in a blink, the station faded. Stars stretched and twisted around them in ribbons of light. Jax felt a strange exhilaration, like they were falling and flying at the same time. The ship was alive, guiding them, adjusting to their presence, accelerating faster than any vessel Jax had ever imagined. "Hold tight," the ship murmured. "The path is uncharted." The human heart, Jax realized, was the perfect companion for a vessel like this. Where alien pilots might have relied only on computation or brute force, Jax's instincts, intuition, and creativity allowed them to navigate complex living systems, systems designed to test intelligence, patience, and courage. Hours, or maybe days, passed in this strange corridor of stars. The map projected in holograms shifted constantly, revealing paths, then hiding them. Jax solved each puzzle, tapped into latent controls, and slowly felt a sense of rhythm with the cruiser. It was no longer just a machine. They were a team. And then, through the starfield, a faint glow appeared. At first, Jax thought it was a distant sun, but as they drew closer, shapes began to form. Massive structures, circular and luminous, floating in empty space. The cruiser adjusted, slowing gently. "What is that?" Jax whispered, awe rising in their chest. "You are nearing the archive," the ship said. The archive? Jax's mind raced. They had expected adventure, unknown stars, maybe lost civilizations. But an archive? That suggested knowledge, history, and secrets. Things no human had ever touched before. Yes, the ship hummed. Hidden, forgotten, waiting. Jax's excitement mingled with nervousness. They were about to step into a place that could change their understanding of the galaxy. And yet there was no fear, only anticipation. Humans had a way of facing the unknown with audacity and wonder. And right now, Jax felt more human than ever. As the cruiser slowed further, massive doors in the structure opened automatically, welcoming them. Lights glimmered inside, casting long, intricate shadows across vast corridors. Symbols similar to those on the cruiser glowed faintly on the walls. "Welcome," the cruiser said. "You are the first to arrive." Jax swallowed. "First human or first ever?" The hum responded, softer this time. "First in many cycles." "You are different." Jax laughed softly, almost in disbelief. "Well, I guess I should be proud of that." They stepped onto the platform leading into the archive, every nerve alive with anticipation. This was the moment they had been building toward since the auction. A ship older than most civilizations, a map pointing to forgotten stars, and a human ready to uncover the secrets of the galaxy. For the first time, Jax realized the full weight of their choice at the auction. No one else had shown up that day. No one else had the curiosity or the courage to claim the cruiser Elysium. And now, that choice had brought them to the edge of discovery, standing before a place that held knowledge long lost to the universe. "Let's see what's waiting for us," Jax whispered. The cruiser hummed in agreement, and with that, they entered the archive. The air inside the archive was heavy, not with dust, but with a sense of age and purpose. The moment Jax Varen stepped from the cruiser Elysium onto the platform, they felt like a trespasser in a temple older than any civilization alive. Every step echoed against walls of shimmering metal and strange glowing symbols. The archive was vast, far larger than Jax had imagined. Ceilings stretched higher than the eye could see, and corridors twisted in ways that made simple geometry seem inadequate. Light didn't just come from lamps or panels. It seemed to emit from the walls themselves, shifting colors like a slow aurora. "This is incredible," Jax whispered, moving carefully. "It's like the whole galaxy decided to leave a library in one place." The cruiser hummed gently, remaining close on autopilot, lights dancing in harmony with the archive. "You are not the first to explore," it said softly. "But you are the first in many cycles to understand." Jax's grin widened. Well, then I guess we'd better start understanding. They began by exploring the corridors. The symbols along the walls responded to their touch, glowing brighter, rearranging themselves as if trying to communicate or guide. Jax reached out, sliding their fingers along a sequence of shapes, and a panel slid open with a soft hiss. Inside was a room filled with crystalline storage units, each humming with energy. Data storage, the cruiser explained. Much of it predates known species. Records, experiments, histories, all here. Jax's eyes widened. This is like every library, every archive, every lost civilization rolled into one. They reached out to one of the crystals. As they touched it, a soft projection appeared, forming a holographic image of a star system long dead. Planets rotated, moons orbited, and strange cities glimmered across barren surfaces. Information flowed in streams of light, but it wasn't overwhelming. It responded to Jax's curiosity, slowing when they paused, highlighting sections they lingered over. Hours passed, or maybe it was days. Jax couldn't tell. Time in the archive felt different. They moved from room to room, discovering tools, maps, and energy conduits that defied known physics. Every discovery felt like a test. Every solved puzzle revealed another layer of complexity. At one point, Jax reached a chamber that appeared to be the central core of the archive. A massive circular structure stretched overhead, glowing with a faint blue light. At the center floated a sphere of energy, rotating slowly, filled with streams of flowing symbols. It pulsed as Jax approached. "You are close to understanding," the cruiser said. Many would have left by now. Jax felt a thrill run down their spine. "I don't think I could leave," they admitted. "Not now. Not when we're this close." They reached out and touched the sphere. Immediately, visions flashed in their mind. Galaxies forming, civilizations rising and falling, stars exploding in bursts of light, and alien species communicating in ways Jax had never imagined. The information was overwhelming, yet beautiful, like listening to a symphony of knowledge that spanned eons. This is the history of the universe," Jax whispered. And, somehow, it's showing me only parts I can understand." The cruiser hummed, guiding subtly. "You are human. Your mind filters in a way others cannot. That is why you were chosen." Jax took a deep breath. Humans were small, fragile creatures, yet their curiosity and intuition allowed them to perceive patterns even advanced species might miss. It was humans' audacity, persistence, and creativity that made them compatible with the archive's design. Moving carefully, Jax explored another chamber. Here, floating holograms depicted alien technology, some of it broken, some still functional. Jax ran their fingers over a device that looked like a floating wheel of energy. It responded instantly, spinning in the air, adjusting to their touch. The cruiser hummed approval. "You are inventive," it said. "Many would destroy it by accident." Jax chuckled. "I like to think I'm careful, mostly." As they moved deeper, they discovered a map unlike any other. It highlighted a star beyond the archive, glowing with a pulsing golden light. Something about it felt alive, like the archive itself was pointing them toward a destination of importance. "What is this?" Jax asked. The cruiser responded quietly. "Destination unknown. Significant. Approach with caution." Jax felt a thrill of anticipation. They had unlocked the star map, navigated the cruiser through uncharted space, and now the archive itself was pointing them toward a secret destination. Whatever lay ahead, it was clear. The next discovery would be monumental. They spent the next several days preparing. The archive contained devices that could repair or enhance the cruiser, energy sources far beyond human engineering, and even simulations that allowed Jax to practice navigating unknown space safely. The ship responded with subtle guidance, but it never imposed.
It allowed Jax to learn, experiment, and grow in understanding.
During this time, Jax realized something profound. Humans were small and often underestimated in the galaxy, yet they thrived on curiosity and intuition, qualities no machine or alien race could replicate fully. The cruiser and the archive had chosen them not because of strength, but because of the unique human ability to adapt, explore, and learn. Finally, Jack stood at the control deck of the cruiser inside the archive. The golden star pulsed in the holographic map, calling them onward. "You are ready," the cruiser said. "The archive has prepared you, but the next phase is uncertain." Jack swallowed hard. They had already witnessed wonders that no human, or most aliens, could dream of. And yet the anticipation of the unknown made their heart race. "Uncertain is fine," Jack said, grinning. "I've come this far. I can handle a little mystery." The cruiser hummed louder, lights brightening as if acknowledging their resolve. Slowly it lifted from the platform, hovering above the ground. With precision unmatched by any human pilot, the cruiser navigated through the massive doors of the archive. Outside, the stars stretched into an infinite tapestry, waiting to be explored. The golden star on the map grew brighter as they approached, radiating warmth that felt almost alive. Jax couldn't help but feel awe. Here was a point in space that no human had ever reached, yet it pulsed with knowledge and secrets. As the cruiser drew closer, a structure began to emerge around the star. Not a planet, not an asteroid, but a floating city of unknown origin, built in arcs and rings, glowing with energy that Jax could feel through the hull. This is incredible," Jax whispered. The cruiser pulsed in response, almost as if agreeing. "You are the first human," it said. "Many have studied, few have reached this. It is your time." Jax's pulse quickened. The city, or whatever it was, radiated intelligence. The energy flowing from it felt ancient and alive. Every human instinct in Jax shouted that this was something important, something that could change the galaxy's understanding of life itself. They carefully docked the cruiser near one of the floating arcs. The city adjusted subtly, opening paths and corridors as if welcoming them. Jack stepped out onto a platform, the hum of the city mingling with the cruiser's own voice. This is beyond anything I imagined," Jack said aloud, taking cautious steps. Every surface glowed softly, reacting to their presence. The city, or archive, was clearly intelligent, able to interact with them, but not threatening. It felt like a test. And then, near the central hub of the city, Jax discovered something they had not expected. A message from a species long gone, carved into the walls and flowing with energy. Symbols shifted as they touched them, forming words in a language the cruiser translated for them. "Warning," the message said. "A phenomenon approaches that will change stars. Only those who understand may guide the galaxy through." A warning? A cosmic event? The significance was enormous. Somehow, their curiosity, boldness, and human adaptability had led them to not just a library of knowledge, but a message of cosmic importance. They looked at the cruiser. "We have a mission," the cruiser pulsed softly. "You are ready. Human ingenuity is key." Jax nodded. Humans were small, fragile, and often underestimated. But here they were, standing at the edge of galactic secrets, capable of understanding knowledge that had eluded civilizations for millennia. The galaxy, it seemed, was about to discover the power of human curiosity and creativity, and Jax was ready to take the next step. Jax Varen stood at the edge of the floating city, staring at the glowing message etched into the walls. The words pulsed softly, a living warning from a species long gone. "A phenomenon approaches that will change stars. Only those who understand may guide the galaxy through." For a moment, Jax felt the weight of the universe press against them. The words were vague, yet ominous. Stars changing. Cosmic events. Something beyond any human or alien technology.
And now, somehow, it was their responsibility to understand it.
They glanced at the cruiser Elysium. The ship's hum was steady, reassuring. It had guided them this far, and it seemed to sense their thoughts. The AI's voice, gentle but firm, spoke. You can do this. Many would fail. Your mind, your curiosity is key. Jax took a deep breath. Humans had always faced the unknown with audacity. From the first explorers who left their home planets to travelers like themselves navigating empty space, human curiosity had always been stronger than fear. "Then let's figure it out," Jax said aloud. "We can't let the galaxy face this unprepared." The first step was understanding the phenomenon. The message didn't explain much, so Jax began scanning nearby space using the cruiser's advanced sensors. Stars shifted, energy flows pulsed unpredictably, and strange gravitational waves rippled through the sector. "This is massive," Jax murmured. "Nothing I've ever seen," the cruiser responded, its hum aligning with the patterns. "It is approaching. It cannot be stopped, but it can be guided."
Jax frowned. Guided? How? You must align energy conduits.
Direct flow. Stabilized systems. Human intuition is required. Jack stared at the holographic display. It was a puzzle beyond comprehension, even for the most advanced alien civilizations. Streams of energy flowed chaotically between stars, twisting and looping. The cruiser's projections suggested a solution, but it required creative thinking, improvisation, and timing, all traits humans excelled at. "Let's see what humans can do." They spent hours testing. Jax moved slowly, observing the energy flows, adjusting the cruiser's controls. The streams were sensitive. One wrong move could redirect energy in dangerous ways. But Jax noticed a pattern. The streams responded to rhythm, intuition, and experimentation, qualities that computers and alien species often struggled with. They aligned one stream, then another. Slowly, step by step, the chaotic flows began to stabilize, glowing steadily instead of swirling wildly. This is working," Jax whispered. Their heart pounded with excitement. The cruiser pulsed in response, guiding them further. The streams connected into a network that resembled a massive circuit spanning light years. Jax realized the phenomenon wasn't random. It had a structure, almost like a cosmic puzzle designed for intelligent minds to solve. "Humans," the cruiser said softly, almost with pride. "Adapt, create, solve, bay." Jax grinned. "And here I thought curiosity would get me into trouble." As the network of energy streams stabilized, the phenomenon began to change. Stars that had flickered and dimmed now shone steadily. Gravitational waves smoothed into predictable patterns. The flow of cosmic energy, once chaotic, became balanced. "This is incredible," Jax whispered. "We're controlling it somehow." The cruiser's hum intensified. "You are completing what others could not. The galaxy will benefit. Your species will be remembered." Jax felt a surge of pride, not arrogance, but the quiet thrill of accomplishment. Humans had no weapons here. They had no armies. All they had was imagination, courage, and the ability to think differently. And that was enough to guide the galaxy through a cosmic threat. Hours passed. Jax continued refining the energy alignment, guided by the cruiser and their intuition. The flows shimmered, pulsing with vibrant colors as if thanking them for their understanding. Slowly, the system reached a state of perfect balance. Jax stepped back from the controls, exhausted but exhilarated. They had done it. The phenomenon, mysterious and potentially catastrophic, had been guided safely through space. Stars realigned, energy flow stabilized, and the sector of the galaxy they occupied glowed peacefully. For a long moment, Jax simply breathed, taking in the enormity of what they had accomplished. They had entered a forgotten archive, discovered a hidden map, and followed it to a mysterious city. They had deciphered warnings older than any human memory and used their unique human qualities to solve a puzzle that no alien mind could. The cruiser hummed softly. "You have fulfilled your purpose here. The archive will now record your actions. Others will learn. Your species will be acknowledged. Jax smiled, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with the cruiser's systems. It was pride, awe, wonder, and above all, a deep connection to the universe. As they prepared to leave the archive, a final holographic projection appeared. The ancient species that had left the warning materialized as light and symbols, forming shapes Jax could barely comprehend. The message was clear. You have succeeded. Your species has potential beyond measure. Remember, curiosity is power. Creativity is strength. Jax nodded, understanding. Humans were often small, fragile, and underestimated. But in moments like this, they could accomplish what no one else could. Not through force, but through ingenuity, curiosity, and courage. The cruiser pulsed in agreement. "You are ready for the galaxy," it said. "The universe awaits." Jax looked out at the stars, feeling infinite possibilities stretch before them. They could explore the hidden sectors, discover forgotten civilizations, and unlock mysteries no human or alien had ever imagined. And they would do it with boldness, intelligence, and human ingenuity. "This is only the beginning," Jax whispered, placing a hand on the cruiser's console. "Let's see what else the universe has for us." The cruiser hummed in response, lights brightening as if smiling. With a soft vibration, it lifted off from the platform, moving through the floating city with perfect precision. Outside, stars stretched into infinity, waiting for the next adventure. Jax Varan, human and explorer, smiled. The galaxy was vast, full of unknown wonders, and entirely theirs to explore. And somewhere deep in the cruiser's systems, the AI pulsed softly, carrying a single truth. Humans were extraordinary, not because they were strongest, fastest, or largest, but because they were curious, bold, and endlessly creative. The universe had been waiting for someone like Jax. And now, it had found them.